This is Partners in Crime with Adam Croft and...
Not the other one. Hello, welcome to episode 168 of Partners in Crime. Adam Croft here again with Mr. Graham Bartlett, standing in the other hot seat, or sitting in it, I hope, unless you're very short, and I don't think you are.
Oh, I'm not short, no. I'd never have got into the police if I was short.
I was going to say, but did they still do the height thing in those days?
They don't anymore. Yeah, they did in my day, yeah. And I was what we call a late spurter. So I was strict.
I mean, we got there quickly, didn't we? It didn't take us long. 53 seconds.
I was strict. I used to hang from door frames, so I'd reach the height limit, and then once I got in, I burst through the ceiling a bit, literally, I think.
Peter Shilton did that, didn't he? Didn't he used to hang from the banisters or something?
Did he?
Stretch his arms, apparently.
Maybe I could have played for England. You never know.
He could have been a copper as well. What do you know?
Probably
in a parallel universe. In a parallel universe, I'll be hosting Partners in Crime with Peter Shilton this week.
Yeah.
Well, you've had a busy week of it, Graham. As we record, it is Thursday, 23rd of June, and anybody who's been listening to the last few episodes will be well aware it's the day your debut novel comes out, Bad for Good. Not your first book, but your first foray into crime fiction. We'll cover that in a moment and find out the hellish day and week you've had, or hellishly busy, but good fun anyway.
Yeah,
we'll cover that shortly. But should get through some of the usual guff first, like the fact that Partners in Crime is gratefully sponsored by Kobo, one of the world's largest ebook retailers. And as a listener, you can get a massive 90% off your first ebook purchase from Kobo. If you like the sound of any of the books we talk about today, maybe Graham's one, Bad for Good, you can use the promo code CRIME22 at the checkout to get 90% off your first purchase. And once you've used that code, if you follow the link in the show notes, you can get 40% off of selected titles using the promo code PARTNERS22, and you can use that one as often as you like. Also, hello to our patrons who will not only be listening to this episode, but watching it in full HD video. They also get access to an extra bonus episode each week, Partners in Crime, Arsenic and Old Lace, except for this week, because it is absolutely roasting here, and Graham is exceptionally busy, and we're going to just do the main episode and then disappear. But you get something. It's better than nothing. You also get a shout-out on the show in the week you join. Hello to Donna Morfitt, who is a new patron this week. We'd love for you to be our next patron, so follow the link in the show notes or head over to patreon.com/Partners in Crime podcast. Graham, back to you, so I can stop talking mainly. I feel my voice going already. Release day for you today. What does that entail, and how much more difficult is it when you've got a hangover from all the wine the night before at your launch party?
Yeah, that's a problem. That last bit is a big problem. I just want to say hello to Donna, by the way, for the new patron member. She's she's a great supporter of me and loads of other authors. Yeah, she's yeah. So hello, Donna.
So you're paying your way already, Graham?
Yeah.
We'll have you on again.
You haven't said how many people cancelled their subscription, have you?
Yes.
So,
hello to Donna and goodbye to the 16 people who left.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So last night we had an event at Goldsborough Books in Brighton, which was put on by my agency, DHH Literary Agency, and David Headley. So it was kind of I think we had about 30 people there, something like that, because it's not a big bookshop. It was a lovely event, lots of good people that helped me on the book, both in terms of even I need advice around policing, and also a lot of writers and some family there as well. But it kind of feels like a culmination of about a month, I suppose. A lot of build up to it, starting really with I did a mass signing for Goldsborough, and then there's so many online e-zines and newspapers and that sort of have asked for articles. So I've had to kind of write articles about the book and about me, but all coming at it from a different angle. And I'm quite a shallow person, so I haven't got that many angles to come at, but I did my best. But it's just, you know what it's like, and any writer listening knows it just feels weird when the book is suddenly out there. And I keep thinking back to the moment when I kind of started writing it all those years ago, and then all the self-doubt and the restarts and the edits and actually knowing that it's thumping onto people's doormats this morning is just a really bizarre feeling.
Yeah, well, hopefully they're enjoying it. I know that people I've spoken to have very much enjoyed it. I've very much enjoyed it twice. It's
yes,
rare.
because you read it by mistake a second time, didn't you? It was obviously memorable, wasn't it?
I got not very far in and thought, yeah, this is familiar. So yeah, but I stuck with it and read it again because I was enjoying it again, and I don't tend to remember stuff when I've read it. I don't even remember what I've written half the time. So
right, so much. Not surprised.
Well, I'm trying my best. We should say hello to our two winners. Last week we ran a competition to win 2 copies of Graham's new book, 2 signed copies, and the winners are Peter Chamberlain and Trevor Smith. We'll be in touch with you to grab your addresses and get your book sent out to you. So well done.
Congratulations, Trevor and Peter. And well done again. Yeah, that question was tricky, wasn't it?
It was.
You said, I don't know how
it was a
found that
humdinger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But, well done.
Peter and Trevor.
Well done for your listening skills and emailing skills, and thank you to everybody who entered. Shall we crack on with some news? Because there's one that jumped out at me this week from the BBC, which was the... it's making me laugh again just reading it. The headline, How to Murder Your Husband, writer, sentenced for murdering husband. An Oregon judge has sentenced Nancy Crampton Brophy, a romance author who apparently foretold her crime in an essay titled How to Murder Your Husband, to life in prison for the shooting death of her late spouse. A jury found she shot her husband of 26 years in 2018 for a $1.5 million life insurance payout. Before her crime, she'd been writing steamy romance and suspense novels, including ones such as The Wrong Husband and The Wrong Lover. The case attracted much attention for an essay she'd written years before the crime, titled How to Murder Your Husband. And she said in the now-deleted post, "The thing I know about murder is that every one of us have it in him or her when pushed far enough." She listed a number of ways to commit matricide, from guns and knives to poison and hitmen, before writing, "It's easier to wish people dead than to actually kill them." And she added, "If the murder is supposed to set me free, I certainly don't want to spend any time in jail." The jury disagreed and handed her a life sentence on Monday, which carries a possibility of parole after 25 years. So how about that? If you're going to kill somebody, maybe don't write about it first.
Well, we always, in the police, we always used to have this kind of, this gratitude, really, that most criminals have got that element of stupidity that we could latch onto. Because if they didn't, we'd never catch them because we're not that clever. So writing about it before you do it's probably up there with the most stupid crimes and criminals that I've heard of. So,
what's the most stupid one you'd encountered then? Is there a real belter like that? Somebody pretty much leading you straight to their door?
Oh goodness me! We should rehearse these questions before we start.
We should.
I've had honestly, I've had calls sort of in the middle of the night from the control room saying, when I've been duty senior investigating officer, please can you come out? We've got a man admitting to killing his partner, and he says he'll wait next door for the police to arrive. So those kind of crimes are fairly easy to detect. I've thought of one actually, which is
even at 3 a.m. you can manage that one, can't you?
Even at 3 a.m. and even I can do it. But stupidity. No, I have got one for stupidity. It's not a murder, but a friend of mine was in a marked police car following a car through Brighton, and the car stopped, and the two chaps got out and went up to the officers and said, we're trying to find our way out of Brighton. We can't find our way out of Brighton. Can you direct us? And there was something about them. So one of the officers started talking to them and just got an engagement conversation. The other one checked the car, and it came back as the car didn't exist. So he looked a bit closer and saw that the F on the number plate had been turned into an E with a strip of black sticky tape. Peeled rechecked the number plate. Stolen car. If you're driving a stolen car, this is a public information message. If you're driving a stolen car, do not stop the police and ask them for directions, because they might, even at 3 a.m, they might just catch you. There you go, you see. That was for free. I'm not going to charge for that piece of advice.
I mean, if there's no one else around, maybe just keep looking for the way out of Brighton.
I think so. Look at the signs. Sat nav's always good. You know, that's not
follow a sign for something that doesn't say Brighton.
Exactly.
Well, on to a little more serious news. The shortlist has been announced for the Theakston Old Peculier Crime Novel of the Year award. It's now in its 18th year and celebrates crime fiction at its best. The shortlist, Ellie Griffiths, is shortlisted for the 5th time, this time for the Nighthawks. Laura Shepherd Robinson continues her Theakston streak. Her second novel, Daughters of Night, is shortlisted 2 years after her debut made the long list. Mick Heron is on the list with Slough House. Midnight at Malabar House by Vaseem Khan, first in a new series chronicling the investigations of India's first female police detective. It's his first time on the shortlist. True Crime Story, the first standalone novel from Joseph Knox. And Lasting to Burn by New Blood 2018 panellist Will Dean. There we go, that's the shortlist for this year. Have you read any of those, Graham?
I haven't read any of those, but I know a lot of the authors. I mean, Ellie Griffiths is from my neck of the woods, and she's been fabulous, in helping me as well. So I've got a lot of them on my shelves. When I get to them, I will do. But
of course.
I know they're going to be cracking. I mean, that shortlist is always there's always some belters on there.
Mm. Well, while we're talking books, if you are looking for something to spend your Kobo promo code on, that's not easy to say at this time of day, but Kobo have recommended some books themselves. I've got 2 this week for you. From August 2021, The Heights by Louise Candlish, which is an excellent book, I can tell you now. The Heights is a tall, slender apartment building among the warehouses of Tower Bridge. Its roof terrace so discreet you wouldn't know it existed if you weren't standing at the window of the flat directly opposite. But you are. And that's when you see a man up there, a man you'd recognise anywhere. He's older now, and his appearance has subtly changed, but it's definitely him. Which makes no sense at all, since you know he's been dead for over 2 years. You know this for a fact, because you're the one who killed him. How is that for a blurb on the back of a book?
That sounds amazing, doesn't it?
Write yourself out of that one, Louise Candlish. Wow.
She will, though. She's an amazing
absolutely.
author.
She did. Yeah, it's a great book.
That's it. So that's my ambition to get my to-be-read pile down has just blown out the window. So I'm going to have to get that one. That's just such a great hook.
It might go up by another one because their other recommendation this week is a pre-order that's out on the 7th of July. Yeah, how about that, you lucky things? We don't just do old books. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. It's a mystery psychological thriller, and here is the blurb. Recently widowed actress Casey Fletcher has escaped to her family's lake house for peace and quiet. They look so perfect, just like Casey and her husband used to be. But is anyone what they seem? Casey has a detective sat at her kitchen table. She has a man bound and gagged upstairs. Casey will uncover dark truths so life-changing that nothing will ever be the same again. There we go.
Wow.
House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. So, a couple more books to add to your reading list. Good luck with that, Graham. I know you've not got a lot on at the moment. I think you'll be all right, won't you?
I'm just looking for stuff to do, really. Yeah, just kicking back and seeing what the day does, where the day takes me.
Why not? Why not? You are retired after all. If you are a Partners in Crime patron, there's another book available for you as well. Your free book of the month from Kobo for June is still there in your dashboard. It's Where the Bodies Are Buried by A.S. French, released in February this year. It's a standalone crime thriller, normally $3.99 on ebook, and is yours free if you are a Partners in Crime patron. The discount code and instructions will be in your dashboard now. And if you're not a patron but you want to be, check out the link in the show notes. The other bit of news I saw this week, which might be of interest, especially to our friends stateside, is that Ethan Hawke is due to star in and executive produce The Whites, which is a new limited series. It's in development for Showtime. It's based on the Richard Price novel of the same name. It's a detective story that argues every detective has their white whale, aka the perpetrator who got away because the justice system failed. Hawke will play former detective Billy Graves, a former star cop who is a member of the lauded group of officers called the Wild Geese. Graves leads the NYPD homicide unit for the less intense Night Watch division. Got it out, finally. But when his white whale resurfaces in a seemingly straightforward murder case, his life is upended. That's due to air on Showtime at some indeterminate point in the future. And hopefully we'll get it over here too. Have you been watching or reading anything this week? I'm guessing the answer's probably no. Graham.
Yeah, not a lot of reading and watching this week. It has been a bit busy. I'm ploughing through the list of. I don't know if I mentioned before, but I'm judging the Crime Writing Association non-fiction dagger for next year. So the books are coming in, so I'm trying to plough through those. So I ought not to say too much about those at the moment because they're in a competition. But I'm looking forward to. I talked about Sherwood last week. I'm looking forward to getting back to that. I've got 2 episodes stacked up to watch, so hopefully by the end of the weekend I'll have got to that. But no, it's been pretty busy this week.
Good. That's what we
about
like.
you?
Keeps you out of trouble. Yeah, I've been plodding away on the new book writing. No time for reading and watching, unfortunately. But
do you not read when you write? Do you deliberately try and avoid reading when you're writing?
It's more a case of time,
yeah,
to be honest with you. But I do have another holiday booked, actually, so I'm going to get some more reading in then. Yes, it's going to be more of a relaxing holiday rather than a friend's 40th birthday holiday, as the last one was. So I'm hoping
Read into that what you will.
hoping to get a little more actual reading done this time. But also, that is why you may have noticed, listeners, watchers, that the episode is coming out on a different day this week. We're actually starting to stagger them for the next week or two so that we don't have a big gap while I'm away. So the dates will be slightly staggered, so it'll be just over a week between them. But hopefully that means we shouldn't have to actually miss a full week, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Probably not to anybody else, but it does to me.
I'm with you.
You're with me.
You.
Good. So we'll probably do one. We'll probably record Friday next week, Graham, if you're around.
I think so. Yeah, I'm not going on any holidays and 40th birthdays or otherwise. I think I'm too old for 40th birthdays now. I'd be the granddad, the one who looked after the phones and the passports. That would be me.
It's already 9:30, lads. I'm going back.
Is that late?
That was me, to be fair, the other week. That was me. I'm getting too old for that stuff. Well, I'm hopefully going to get some reading done at that point. In a couple of weeks' time, so very much looking forward to that. Other than that, no, my week's been fairly quiet. I had a fun little afternoon yesterday. Did Radio 4's Moneybox Live. They had an episode about publishing and asked me to pop on and gob off, so I gladly did so. I'm going to be up in Rutland this weekend for a little research mission for my next book. Need to find out where some cameras and things are and try and help my criminal escape justice for a little longer.
And it's definitely research for fiction, is it? It's not. I don't need to let the local police know that you're planning the next great train robbery.
No. Well, next great train robbery. Have you seen how slow the trains are on that line?
Well, you could just steal a train. No one will notice, would they?
Yeah, wouldn't need to wait. I could just run up behind it and catch up with it. I think I'd be all right. And I'm also going to be playing an escape room while I'm up there, which is going to be good fun. The lady who owns an escape room up there asked me to come and play, and in return for some press photos and bits and bobs. I've never actually done one, so I'm going to see what my crime-solving skills are actually like in real life. If
my daughter's done a few of them. She's really got the bug, her and her friends, and it's all about the teamwork. It's all about the teamwork. But she did a room which then some recently retired detective inspectors did, and they did a lot worse than her and her kind of fairly inebriated friends did. So that I didn't let that go on social media. That had to be announced.
Absolutely.
How these trained and professional detectives were no better than a nurse, a couple of teachers, and a student.
Thing is, you go into something like that as a detective, you can't win, can you? Really, because it's either way. You would, of course, you'd get out. Of course, you'd solve it. You're detectives, and if you don't, you're a laughing stock.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I can't win at the weekend. I'm either, I've never solved a crime that I've not written in the first place. So we'll see how this goes. I'll report back next week.
Good. Yeah. If you're out, you might not be out.
I might still be in there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to record. You'll have to record from the escape room.
Do an outside broadcast or an inside broadcast.
Yeah.
Right, and as the temperature rises here in Studio 1, we'll say goodbye to Studio 2 as well, and we'll do it all again next week, shall we?
Super. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Lovely.
Enjoy
See you
your
then.
escape room. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Partners in Crime was presented by Adam Croft and
Not the other one.
produced by Adam Croft. The theme tune was by the Caesareans. The Partners in Crime logo and imagery were designed by Stuart Beisch. Partners in Crime is sponsored by Kobo, your favourite local bookshop, perfected.